Our pubcasts, it is MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, how the hell are you feeling?
I'm feeling alright, Mike. You know, it's 10 a.m. We did skip out yesterday due to some business, and the last time we did it, we had some technical issues, but it should be better now, and it should be a good run this morning, Mike.
Yes, our apologies for anyone still waiting. Like John said, had a few business things to do, and as well as that, Dota's been playing around, so the replays have been rather laggy as of late, but I think it's fixed now, so we should be able to enjoy some pub community replays. John, we already see as well, we talked about this yesterday because we started this replay for about a minute. The SF clock combo is back. I believe you mentioned that the Necro Mastery was, of course, nerfed from 15 to 12 at level 1. It's still rather effective, though, at ensuring that he can get the last hits, within those first few levels.
Yeah, it definitely is. I just feel like this combination's it's just weakened so much. Level 1 Necro is not as strong as it used to be, although, to be fair, for the most part, in pubs, most people did tend to get just 12 Necro Mastery when they tried this with a Clockwork Enemy, so it's not that big of a difference in pub games, and this is a pub game, so it might not factor in too big.
Yeah, I mean, it is still, he is still right-clicking for 72 damage right now. So I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue for him. He's obviously going to have quite an advantage over the Lina in the mid lane, I'd assume, but we'll find out. John, if you don't mind, can you check my stream quickly, just to make sure the mic's not playing up?
Alright.
Thank you, sir.
Let me open up, sir.
Just to make sure.
Alright. One sec, because my internet's really not the best for some reason.
Jesus, John, I was hoping you'd do this quickly. There might be a gank at bot lane. Loki is going to get cogged up right now. They are waiting patiently, but it looks like he will end up dropping. So Chopo will find the first blood on the Slark. And a very nice start for him. John, have you checked the stream yet?
It's not loading for me. My internet's really not cooperating with me.
Oh, good.
This morning, it sees.
Well, in that case, I'll keep going until you give me an answer, John. Unless it's never going to load. We do have, of course, the SF against the Lina, as we talked about. We would assume it would be a relatively even lane. Like, SF wants to right-click and harass a bit, but he could be in a bit of trouble right now. Bear does go in. He cops a few raises, though. And Divine is also forced to go back, so it does appear that both players are going to be relatively aggressive against each other. Which is absolutely fair enough. Now that we think about it as well, the long-range right-clicks from Lina probably are going to be very effective against the SF, even though he does have the stronger right-click. She can harass from quite a distance away. So it might be a bit difficult for Divine to actually play this one out, but we'll see what he does. He does need a bit more mana to really contest this lane with the Razors. John, any news yet?
It's still not opening for me, Mike. It's an issue on my end. I think.
All right, let me just check on my phone quickly. So it doesn't play up on the replay. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second. Just try to not miss any kills while we're doing this, John. While I'm checking, I should say. You might hear my lovely voice in the background for just a second. And
it's perfectly fine.
Try to not miss any kills while we're doing this. There we go.
All right.
All right, everything's working fine. My apologies for any viewers. But yeah, John, back to the game. Mid lane I was talking about. The Lina versus SF. It appears that the SF may still struggle, regardless of whether he has the souls, because Lina just can right-click from so far away. Obviously, there's so much nuke damage. And in fact, as I'm saying this, Barry's making a very, very early rotation to the top lane. He's going after Bateman on that Batrider, but I believe Bateman's just spotted it out. This is a very, very strange rotation coming in.
Yeah, it definitely is. She's not at the point where she wants to be doing these rotations. Level 4, a significant amount of XP behind the SF, and a significant amount of last hits behind the SF as well. That rotation up top would not have netted her a kill Batrider is pretty much ahead in XP as well, so a bit optimistic to rotate this early.
Well, there will be a bit of a rotation bot lane. They will find Choppo. In fact, Choppo finds the kill, I should say. Invincible proves not to be very invincible and will go down. Looks like top lane God is in a lot of trouble. Bateman's still making the chase. They're both very, very low, but it looks like Bateman might be able to find this with maybe another sticky napalm. He will actually give up on it because Thanos was in the background waiting. And you don't really want to mess around with Thanos, as we've learned from the recent movie, John. Bot lane, Shikamaru is being chased down as well. Invincible. Gonna continue the right clicks even though the battery assault is not really allowing it to happen. Now Bear comes in as well. Shikamaru is still making a run for it. Nobody able to find a kill quite yet. Bear continues the chase, finds the stun. But he's got he really doesn't have enough nuke damage right now. Now Choppo comes in bot lane as well. Invincible, gonna cop a bit of damage, but again, nobody's got enough to really deal with this. So they will all back off. And I should say Libby, who's in the chat right now, the reason why we don't have any viewers is because this is a community pub replays. And so nobody's really interested in watching us do pub replays. But thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate it.
I'm sure there are people interested, Mike. The people who submitted them are pretty interested, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm absolutely, John, but they're getting provided a replay on YouTube, so they don't really care, right? They don't have to wait on the stream to wait for theirs. Bot lane, Loki, again is in trouble. Shikamaru going to make the chase up with the cogs. He'll find that kill. Now Invincible could be in a bit of trouble. The pounce is there, and there's a lot of damage coming up from Choppo. But he'll have to give up. He copped way too much damage from that tier 1 tower, and will end up dropping to the gush. Bit of an overextension coming out from our resident Slark, John. But overall, 3-1 right now. How are you feeling about this game? Like, who's in the lead right now?
I'd say it's definitely a better start for the Radiant. Their lineup does tend to go online a bit earlier. I'd say there's not that huge difference between the two in terms of timings. I think both teams seem to have the same kind of power peaks for the most part. I'd say it's much more pertinent for the Radiant to have a better start. But if it goes late, I'm really not sure who it favors. It really comes down to who plays better. Or conversely, who plays less bad.
Well, we can say ultimately, in terms of the Radiant getting that good start, they appear to have done so. I mean, it's 4-2. But more importantly, this SF is at the top of the net worth when he really probably shouldn't be. And we do blame that on the fact that Bear made that rotation early and gave him that, extra level for basically nothing. And allowed him to last hit for absolutely no reason. It is going to affect the die quite a lot, I feel. Road to Divine is actually level 7 now. And this is the point where you've got that max raise. You can really start dealing out a hell of a lot of damage. Mind you, Bear has the level 6 himself, but you've got to get enough damage out there before you can burst them down with the Laguna Blade. And I don't know if she's actually going to be able to get there because Road is just going up on her. Now she commits the Laguna. Is there a raise? There is a long range raise available. He does finally commit it and find the kill. Meanwhile, we did see Choppo go down to the bot lane, but again, this laner, he really can't sustain against the SF anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely a bit too far behind to hold that lane in any sort of favorable situation right now. Looks like Road to Divine will just be able to chip away here.
We did see top lane, God actually finds a kill onto Bateman. It is like you said though, Road to Divine mid lane. He's just chipping away at the tier 1 tower. And well, when you're hitting for about 150 per right click, you can't really blame him at 8 minutes in on trying to take a very quick tier 1. Top lane, they're still going, by the way. God is alive. Thanos is actually trapped in the trees right now, John. Look at this, the creep wave actually taking him out, and he will end up going down. My goodness. Again, mid lane, Bear's going to go down. That's a 3rd kill going to the way of Road to Divine. And I mean, he's literally raising once with the W, walking up, doing about 3 right clicks, and then using the long range raise. And there's nothing she can do about it. Now top lane as well, God is going to not get caught out. Shikamaru misses the cogs. But again, this Lina, what the hell can he do?
You know, at this point, as a Lina, you'd probably just want to rotate in the jungle or maybe dedicate a support in your lane. Although it's a bit too late for that. The SF is like level 9, a full 3 levels ahead of Lina. I don't think even with a support you'd be able to safely take out the SF at this point. So you just rotate out to the jungle and try to find some farm there.
No, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, even, yeah, it's like you said, even if you bring support, like, it's just going to mean more kills for the SF at this point. Look at Road. He goes straight up to Bear again. Laguna Blade is available, but he doesn't care. They're going to keep rotating around. Bear cops another one, and, well, there's a long range left. Double damage on the SF as well. There's some nice juking going around, but Bear... Oh, Laguna Blade comes out. He might actually find a kill. In fact, he doesn't. Meanwhile, bot lane again. Chopo finds Invincible. But my goodness. Mid lane is getting very heated. We saw Bear almost get himself some massive gold and XP. He couldn't quite find it. It looks like Loki's coming in and try and get it, but he cops the Requiem. He will end up dropping as well, and I've got to tell you, John, this SF, I'm loving it right now. He's playing very, very well.
He definitely is. He's just really bullied this Lina to irrelevancy at this point in the game. As a Lina, you really don't want to be too far behind the opposing mid player. You want to be kind of matching in levels at the very least. And it's not happening here. He keeps trying to force this lane when nothing seems to be working out, just staying here. So I think it's time for Lina to occupy the jungle, but at the same time, the Venomancer is doing the same thing. So it's probably not the most economical to have 2 heroes staying in the jungle, although I feel like it's best to play slightly safer here.
It's a question of, like, they knew that Lina was struggling. Perhaps they should have rotated the position 5 and 4s over to gank this SF earlier. It looks like there will be a hookshot mid lane, but he actually connects on the creep, so Shikamaru not going to find that. Top lane, Bateman ends up going down again. So the Batrider having a terrible time right now. He's 0-4-0. And he's not... I don't feel like he's slowing down the PL's farm that much. Mid lane again, Road to Divine is making the chase. He will not commit the long range. But this tier 1 tower, it doesn't have long left to go if they continue this. Bot lane as well. I believe, again, we're going to see Chopo going straight after invincibility. And they do not get that kill. Mid lane, Road to Divine cops the stun. He might actually go down this time around. The Gale connects as well. Road, he does go down. He finds the return kill on the CM. Now the Ravage committed from Invincible. He'll go after Shikamaru, but, well, the Laguna Blade comes in. I thought he may have been able to get away there due to the cogs, but Laguna Blade obviously a very long range. And he will find it. And now, what's our... Actually, Laguna Blade was stolen by the Rubik. But he hasn't used it yet. He may as well commit it, and he does not. Very questionable from him to hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean, not only questionable, it's really disappointing to see that. You finally get the Laguna Blade, and you don't manage to bash, you don't manage to use it on anyone. It's just anticlimactic, to say the least.
I mean, it's one of those things where when you're playing Rubik, when you steal a big spell like that, you kind of assume that the cooldown's too long to use. Sparingly, but with the Laguna Blade, it's 70 seconds at level 1. So you will get to use it at least twice before it does wear out. Bot lane Thanos is going to be in trouble. Looks like he will end up going down to Chopo again. Now a nice hookshot coming in from Shikamaru. He wants to keep the fight going. He hasn't earned it as well, but he didn't have the cogs available and he won't be able to find this kill. So we have to let the Tidehunter go. Bear does rotate around. I don't know if he's going to be able to find this. He has the ulti available. Where's the stun? He's not throwing it out yet. Shikamaru, he cops the Gale. Now the stun and Laguna as well. He doesn't want to play around. And I've got to admit, John, that's perfectly fine in my opinion. As the Lina right now, you're 2 levels behind the SF. You're going to want any kill you can get.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you in that. The fact that she's even finding these kills is a good sign for her. She's not too far behind. 232 is not the worst. Still probably not ideal as a start, but starting off like this and getting a couple of recovery kills is decent. It's gonna need a little bit more, but the Dara side actually managed to take a tower as well. The first tower of the game.
They have top lane. It will end up going down. That's a nice little gold influx going to the way of the Dire. They're going to be very happy with that. You know, the reason why, John, I keep mentioning this mid lane is because both heroes that they're playing appear to be heroes that, you know, want to control the tempo of the game. And ultimately, you know, someone like an SF getting this much farm early is going to make it so your Lina can't really control that tempo. Mind you, Road has gone for the Yule Scepter. So, I don't know about this build. Like, I do not mind it, but I think, personally, I would have preferred something like a Shadow Blade to be able to really get in there in close range and be able to find those kills. I suppose the Yule's works as well. Do you have any comments on that item build?
It's really common on a lot of SFs, I think, mainly because they just... there is the use of it for blowing someone up in Requiem. I think the main thing is really just sustain for the raise. Gives you a decent amount of mana regen to keep up the farm with raises, so you don't need to depend too much on Fairy and Clarities. I know, it works out that way. I just personally don't really enjoy seeing it myself, but hey, when you're ahead and you're making it work, I guess it's not a major issue.
Oh, bot lane. Thanos is going to have a major issue, and they committed the Ravage for that. Chopo, he had the Dark Pact going, so it didn't even affect him. And now Invincible, he's going to have that Ravage on cooldown for another over 2 minutes. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's going to be a big loss to his team. We did also see a top lane, John. Lena went down, and now actually Chopo's in trouble. He doesn't have the Shadow Dance available right now. He has no mana for it. He's trying to regen up. He doesn't even have Pounce available. They're slowing him down as much as they can. And they will actually find the kill with the Gush. Invincible will get that one for himself. And so we sit at a 13-12. Their net worth lead actually goes to the way of the Dire. And a lot of that is due to the fact that God has been able to find the kill on, find the farm on the PL. Not so much as, you know, the SF, but, you know, still, Appeal is very, very scary once he gets that farm going.
He definitely is. I feel like giving this much momentum to the PL is really not ideal. What is that? A 16-minute diffusal once it gets into the PL. It's still a decent timing considering how slow the game went for the Dire side. So the PL wasn't really completely shut down. And I don't think the Radiant side is ahead enough to justify this gap.
No, I'd have to agree with you. We did see top lane. Bateman went down, and as well as that, looks like Loki went down in the mid lane to Chopo, who's been making a lot of work with this Slark. I'm also starting to see why they didn't go with the Shadow Blade on the SF, John. Of course, the Slark already has one, so generally speaking, you don't want to, you know, go for too many, because then you're giving a lot of value to those sentries and the wards and the gems of the Dire. They are making a lot work anyway. They don't want to drag out this game too long. They do find the tier 1 bot lane. And I mean, the tier 1 mid is already so low as well. Actually, Chopo might go down here in the mid lane, but he had no Laguna Blade on Bear to be able to commit that. And now to make matters worse for the Dire, we do have Divine. He actually has a Blink Dagger available. And this is going to be an even bigger problem because now he can close the gap to commit the Yule Requiem. And in fact, he's going to do it right now. He finds Loki, and just like that, gets blown up immediately by Divine. He's actually going to find Invincible as well. And actually going to go for this with the Razors. A lot of damage already being committed for this. Thanos does come in. And well, he must have forgot his Midas because he's not doing much damage. Shikamaru will back off as well. It looks like they will find the kill onto Road. Nice rotation from Bear. They will get the hook shot though. And Chopo, he's going to be able to steal this one. In fact, Shikamaru gets it. Now Thanos is going to make a run for it. But still, that kill onto the SF. It's well worth the Lena dying, it feels right now. Because, I mean, she's level 13 now. And I mean, she's closed the gap quite a lot in terms of levels. And the farm is getting there. Invincible. Gonna get caught out. Chopo. Hopping a bit of damage. The stats being stolen. Now the ulti and the Ravage comes out. It's gonna connect on everybody. They take 2 down. Chopo is still around. He had the Shadow Blade available to commit. But the Radiant giving a lot away. And that Ravage was quite nice from Invincible.
Yeah, it definitely was. Not only that, the positioning of Kanos up the stairs was really good. Hides him Basically hiding CM from the entire time Freezing Field was being channeled. And, you know, a nice couple of kills. Granted, it's on supports, but it's still a very hefty amount of gold and XP going your way. And they managed to take a tower off that, so it's definitely worthwhile.
No, absolutely. We do see Road to Divine as well. He'll find a tower for himself in the mid lane. So they will get a bit of a trade, but the Radiant do have to be careful. I mean, they were so far ahead, and I mean, now the net worth is actually in the way of the Dire. They are going to continue the aggression, though. And actually, Hookshot connects on one of his teammates. I think it was Chopper that got in the way there. Shikamaru still moving forward, but now the side of the Dire, understanding that Hookshot's gone, they go in. Lasso goes in onto the Tidehunter. Now Thanos about to go down to Chopper, and he does. Shikamaru has to be careful. Loki copping a lot of damage. The Poison Over was actually stolen by Minoru. And Invincible going to get chased down. The stun is there. Bear actually blows down Choppo. The Laguna Blade while he was pouncing. Now Bear going to get chased down as well as Invincible. But who are they going to take down? They're both actually pretty hard to kill right now. And Bear continues to nuke them down from the backlines. Nice stun comes out. Invincible so low, he will actually live through all this. Now Bear's going to make the chase again. Shikamaru going to be the target. He cops the nuke. And he will end up dropping a triple kill for this Lina. And this is really bad news, but here comes Divine. The Requiem blows him up. Invincible going to be the next target. He actually moved forward for that. And now a double goes to Divine, and he just cleans up afterwards. He's had enough of this garbage. He did not want, you know, any more kills to be taken off his team. And I suppose that's what he had to do as an SF. He had to get in there, find some return kills, and even out the scoreboard a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Although, with this build, you're really on a timer. When you go Blink Yields, you're really going all in on your full nuke. So you probably want to start taking objectives from those kills. The issue is they don't have any hard tower hitters on the Radiant side. None of them really push out too well, unfortunately enough. One thing I want to mention, Mike, if you look at Bateman's items on the Batrider, he went for a Midas on Bat. That definitely delayed his blink timing a bit more than it is helping him, I feel. Overall, I guess it's going to help him sustain farm. I don't think Batrider is really a hero you want to go Midas on, mainly because if you're getting it for... It just delays your blink so much. And Bat's really a hero that you want to get a fast blink on. If you're getting it for farm, it doesn't quite make sense because Batrider clears out creeps very, very well. So I'm really not too sure about this Midas pickup. In terms of XP as well, you're just going to get so much from all the camps you're going to be clearing in between downtime. So I really don't think Midas Batrider is a big thing.
Well, top lane, John, there's a lot of big things happening. Minoru is going to go down, as well as Road to Divine. There is a hookshot coming in from Shikamaru, but it's into 4 players, and he's by himself. He tanks a lot of the damage, but he's going to give his life away in the end. That is a very questionable decision. But if we do backtrack on what you were speaking about from the Batrider, John, I have to agree. I mean, you've got so much farming capability with that Firefly and the Sticky Napalm. You know, you always generally go to the jungle, get a few stacks going, you know, and clean up, get that Blink Dagger quick. But 22 minutes in, he still doesn't have that Blink Dagger available, and it is mostly due to that Midas pickup. Although it may help him in the later game, I can't imagine it's going to help him that much. The Blink Dagger is the most important thing, and then after that, I suppose you go for the Force Staff. It is very, very questionable. They will find a tier 2 at the top lane as well. So the Dire are pushing this kind of greediness from the Radiant side. They are taking advantage of it. And perhaps they may have noticed that the Midas is there on Bat and he can't actually blink in and initiate.
Yeah, it's definitely a very big part. Because without the Batrider's blink, they're depending on either Clockwork or SF starting fight. Clockwork can start fighting, can start a big team fight. SF can only really pick off one hero. So it's really on Batrider and Clock to start a big 5-on-5. SF is really only just going to be able to blow one guy up and then at this point die without BKB.
Well, Choppo actually finds Thanos again. It's a classic Slark game where you try and find that position 5 support and take him out. And he does do so. Road to Divine. Playing around with that Requiem. Looks like God is just having none of it. He's at the bot lane right now. Just continues pushing out that creep wave. And it looks like they find Minoru again. He does go a bit too forward. And we do see Bear, he actually has the Eul Scepter up. So he can now easily set up for that Light Strike array. There's nothing you can really do to stop him. This is very concerning for the side of the Radiant, to say the least. They had such a great lead at the start, but now the items are coming up on the side of the Dire. And if I am to use one of your words, John, it appears that Road to Divine, he's going to turn into somewhat of a gold sink. I mean, he's top of the net worth board, but like you said, he's only really able to blow up one person with the build he's gone. And until he gets his BKB, he's pretty much useless in these team fights.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, he still pumps out a lot of damage. It's just that, you know, when you're playing Magic SF, you just have a really tight timer where you really want to push your advantage. I feel like he's kind of lost that timer.
Well, they do get Loki bot lane. They are actually going to commit the Ravage. It connects on 3 as well, and they're still trapped in the cogs. Bear, he couldn't dish out enough damage. The lasso was there. They get the SF at least, but now Invincible going to be taken down. In fact, no, Shikamaru trying to defend against God. Invincible copping a lot of damage. Choppo actually brought back for this. Shikamaru, he might get taken down, and he does. God, still dealing a hell of a lot of damage. He takes down the Rubik now. Choppo has to be careful. He commits the Shadow Dance, but he's got no real mana left. God's going to find a dieback on the Slark. And that's a massive mistake coming out from Choppo to actually buy back there. At the very least, you want to be able to walk out successfully. He stuck around and went for Thanos on the CM. And in doing so, he actually gave his life away to God.
Yeah, that's a pretty big swing right there. Committing the buyback. I mean, it looked okay at first, but right now the Slark has no answer to PL, and it's gonna be really tricky if you're not clearing out the main PL already, because you just don't have the HP pool just yet to really tank that many hits from Diffusal Illusions. So you really want to you're definitely gonna need your team backup to help you out in that 1v1. The only issue is everyone else was dead, so it's a rough time to man fight against PL there.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, God's peaking right now. He's the Manta, the Diffusal. He's a happy man. He's going for that Eye of Skadi next, but he's in a great position. The Radiant, they have to slow it down, I feel. Maybe get some more farm on Choppo, who does seem to require a bit more. He's actually going for a Butterfly next, and he will be able to find a kill into Loki, it feels. Poison Nova was also committed, but he doesn't really care about that. Though Road to Divine goes down bot lane, Bear finds that one for himself on the Lina again. And this is very problematic. The SF now 9-5, and most of those 5 kills are coming around this stage of the game. He's become so ineffective. A lot of this game is going to rely on Choppo if they want to pull this out from the Radiant, but they've got to be able to take down God as well as Bear, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's really not going to be easy at this point. It's just getting harder when it comes down to it. The Radiant had a great start. I feel like they didn't do as much with it as they should have. Slark's farm, considering his start, is not too impressive. I'm not sure about the itemization either.
Oh, John, look at this bait. The bait mid lane onto Choppo. The Ravage also committed. They're going to go straight onto the Rubik, so Minoru is gone. They do not end up getting Choppo, but they won't care. Shikamaru's left over. He'll get destroyed as well. This is going to be a tier 2 mid, it looks like. There's nothing they can do about it on the side of the Radiant. They haven't got the heroes anymore. It looks like the SF will finally respawn, but what the hell can Road to Divine do against all 5? The answer is probably nothing. They're looking for even more right now up the hill. But this tier 2, it's definitely gone. There'll be no defense coming out from the Radiant. And it's gone. In fact, they might just keep going. I wouldn't blame them. They've still got no clockwork on the map. They might be able to sneak a quick tier 3 in. And now the Radiant realize they have to defend this. But look how fast the tier 3 is going down. Chopo is there in the Silver Edge form, but there's nothing he can do. They can't actually stop this right now. God is dealing so much damage as well as Bear. And that mid-Rax is completely gone. It looks like they do hook in Shikamaru. Gonna start off the team fight. He does Blade Mail as well, but there's nobody behind him. He gets stunned up. He cops the nuke again, and that range Rax, they're going for it. The Laguna will take down Shikamaru. God. Actually, Minoru steals the ulti from the CM. God going pretty damn far to get that kill, but he will be able to walk out. It looks like now Chopper on the back lines, trying to get Thanos, but what the hell does it matter? It's not the real one. Chopper gets stunned up. The Gale does not connect, but they'll find the kill from Bear. And I mean, John, you're looking at the Radiant right now. They lost a sub 30-minute Rax in the mid lane. They just lost their heroes again. I ask you, if you were captain... Oh my, Thanos. Why is back? John, if you were captaining the Radiant, what the hell would you be saying to them?
Slow down, maybe re-itemize on the Shadow Fiend. Because at this point, the Magic Shadow Fiend really doesn't do too much for your team fight. Like, maybe if you had something like an SNY earlier on, you could right-click a bit better at this point. Stand in front of fights a bit better. Work towards your Butterfly or a Scotty of your own on the Shadow Fiend. It would be a much easier time. Right now, every time Road to Divine dies, when he respawns, he's not doing anything. His Requiem is going to be much, much weaker. His right click's not... It's going to be even worse. So, you know, once he dies, he's basically useless the next time he respawns until he clears a couple of creep waves. So, he's really not doing as much as you'd expect him to do at this point in the game. And it mainly comes down to this itemization. A lot of SFs do enjoy this. They go Blink, Yules, Travels. It lets them go around the map, farm freely, and, you know, find kills. But after a certain point, I just feel like it's so weak.
Oh, actually, Don, bot lane. Nice hookshot comes in. Bear, he'll take down the SF, but he loses his life. Now Invincible, gonna be the target. Thanos committing the ulti, but he's already stunned up. He'll go down. God came in late. He'll take down Minoru, but what does it matter? He's gonna go after Choppo, but there's no dust available or detection. In fact, there is. It was in his backpack. He finally has it available. Will he commit it, though? Choppo sticking around him. His invis is gonna wear off soon. Now the dust committed. He knew he was around somewhere, and Choppo's in big trouble. He doesn't have the Shadow Dance available, and I don't know why he stuck around him like that. He will go down again, and God, well, I'd hate to say it, John, but he's on a godlike streak.
Yeah, I mean, he's really big now in this PL. It's really hard to face up against him. He has his Scotty up, and he's working towards his heart. Once he has that heart up, I'm not sure what a Radiant has to really deal with him. I mean, SF is really almost a non-factor, mainly because, again, the magic damage peters off at this point, and he's gonna have, I mean, God is gonna have enough HP to even tank through probably the Requiem.
Yeah, it's like, how the hell do you kill him?
Yeah, it's definitely a very big issue, and it's just gonna be that much more of an issue as time goes on. They'd probably want to jump the PL first, but in all of these fights, God just waits at the back and jumps in after maybe Lina dies or maybe after Venomancer dies. But it's always after someone else dies first, so most of their initiation's gone and most of that initial control's gone. Once that's gone, PL has free reign. They don't really have that much control on the Radiant side. They have Telekinesis, they have Cogs, Battery Assault, Hook, and pretty much just Lasso. Beyond that, hard lockdowns are, yeah, there's no hard lockdown. So the PL has pretty much free reign if he just doesn't copy initial initiation.
Look at top lane though, John. Choppo goes in after Bear. He can't find the kill. He commits the Shadow Dance. A nice stun coming up from Bear. Barely connects. Now the Laguna as well. With that Aghanim Scepter pure damage. And mid lane as well. Rhodes being chased down. He will back off, but he copped the Poison Nova. Now the Roshan will be taken. And Johnny, if I could quickly direct your attention towards Road to Divine, he's going for an Aghanim Scepter now. So he's not going for any kind of right click. He's not going for the hybrid build. He is going to go full on magic damage. I don't know if it's the right decision. The Aghanims does deal a hell of a lot of damage, but the question is it going to be enough?
I I think if you've already invested in the Wilson Blink, I think it's all right to go Ags. I'm still not sure how I feel about Magic SF in general. It's just not something I've seen a lot of success in, mainly because they get a good timing. They do a lot of in early fights, or they find a lot of early pickoffs. It's just that the tempo just completely gets ignored.
Oh, mid lane. They're going to dive in. Bateman goes down, but Bear, he's been hooked on. Can he get out of this one? He's copping a lot of damage to Blade Mail. Don't right click it, sir. He goes down to the Blade Mail. In fact, Minoru finds the last click, but that was very strange. Now Road comes in. He'll blow up the Tidehunter, and God's coming in, but he's really late again. Shikamaru throws out the cogs. Now God is in massive trouble. He has the Aegis, though, and Road actually drops, but now the Aegis is gone. Buyback's coming out. Choppo, he'll find the kill. Loki, he's in trouble, but he does get away. In fact, no, the dust is committed. Choppo's going to be able to find him. Now they will be able to get Bateman, but here comes Road to Divine and try and find a return kill. And if God dies right now, John, it's going to be a lot of gold going to the way of the Radiant. Choppo is man fighting this God. Will he go down? Looks like he will. Oh my. John, please explain what happened there.
It was a bit of a mistake from God to stay that long. A rather odd decision to make, especially since he has no escape items. No blink, no shadow blade, nothing like that. So he's really all in on just damaging, lots of damage and some tankiness with his item build. But as soon as his Aegis popped, I feel like that was a good time to pull back. Unfortunately, he decides to go a bit greedier and jumps in. Granted, he did manage to expend 2 buybacks, if I recall right. And he managed to get a dieback on the Batrider, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I think I am mistaken. But he does manage to get something from there, but that the mid lane was already taken out. So there was no real point forcing a fight there in the first place.
Well, speaking of no real point in forcing a fight, John, Thanos gets caught out by himself as the CM. Absolutely no point to that one. I heard a hook shot as well. It's onto Bear. He's there as well. He'll blow up the Rubik, but he might get taken down. The Urn's on him. Now the Ravage is committed, but it's only onto the Clockwork. Shikamaru is just going to TP out of this one, and he'll be perfectly fine. What the hell did we just witness?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile to ever pop your Ravage at this point in the game, 35 minutes in, for a support Clockwork. I don't think it's worthwhile. Personally, I don't think it's worthwhile. It's really questionable. Pop it. So that's 2 minutes without your big team fight ultimate. And I feel like that Ravage has really been key to the Dire side taking these fights. So it's down for 2 minutes. There's some leeway for the Radiant now to find some, to make some plays happen.
That was just... It felt ridiculous what I was watching there. I mean, it was... Thanos goes in by himself, then Bear goes in afterwards, finds a kill, almost ends up dropping, and they have to commit the Ravage to save him. It was just such a awkward play coming out from the Dire, and it gives all this space to the Radiant now. Understanding the Ravage isn't there, I mean, they're going to feel a lot safer around this map to keep farming. And you can see Choppo feels that way. He's got a BKB up and he's got 3k in the bank right now. He's going to continue saving his money and we'll see what he buys. But you do not want to give this kind of space to the carries of the Radiant. Like, maybe the SF may not be able to pull through all the way to the late game. But Choppo probably will as the Slark. In fact, he's going to find Loki's cross right now. Going to go for it. He commits the BKB. Now Thanos TP'd in to try and help out, but he's going to go down as well. Road to Divine backs up Choppo. And that's 2 down already for the side of the Dire. Now Bear, they do see him, I think. Will they be able to find him, though? He's coming in from the backlands. Bayman has stuck around too long. Shikamaru comes in as well. Where's the rest of the team? They've already TP'd out. I don't know why the Radiants joined into this team fight. It looks like Shikamaru will lose his life. And he walked into 100% a dead Batrider. It was a very confusing play from both of them. Especially considering Choppo and Road to Divine just get the hell out of there immediately.
Yeah, it's rather odd. They knew their cores were pulling back, and they decided to go in anyway. I mean, I don't think they needed to. I think the cores, as soon as Chop Chapo managed to pounce out, I think that's fine. I think he was pretty much safe. So there was no real need to commit into jumping in there. But well, you know, certain decisions are made, and that's the decision they made. So I guess it's something they have to live with.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like bot lane will be pushed in, but Road to Divine. He's split pushing as the SF right now. And as we know, SFs tend to push very quickly. Bot lane, though, still being pushed in. They do send Thanos back to defend, as well as Loki. Well, this tier 3 tower bot lane, they're going to go for a team fight. It's 5v3. In fact, it's 4v3 right now. Chopper is fighting him against the world. Road to Divine comes in. He'll blow up a couple. Invincible, going to cop it. Gets the lasso as well. Now God, he'll be the last one left. He's trying to TP out. They do lift him though. Minoru gets it. And it looks like he should just end up dropping. In fact, he gets a doppelganger as well. They'll get 3. And again, the Dire stick around too long. Like, both your supports backed off without committing their ultimates, and you stick around as 3 cores against 4 of the Radiants, in fact 5 once the clockwork came up. I don't understand these plays.
Yeah, it's really questionable. PL hanging too far out forward to really dodge hunting, SF managing to get enough time to TP back home and help in that team fight. The Ravage not being popped at all, mainly because he did have some time to pop it, but I'm not sure if it would have helped at that point because they were gonna lose the Lina anyway. Just rather curious plays all around here, Mike.
Well, they're going to make more curious plays. Road to Divine goes in with the Requiem. He'll blow up Loki. Thanos is stuck in Viz right now, and he can't do a thing. He's got the Shadow Amulet. He's just sitting there, but now they find him. Chopo, he's going to go after God. God's trying to defend the whole base by himself, but he knows he has to back off. He just bought back for this. And if he dies back, it could be game. Chopo continues the push. It looks like they will be able to find the counteraxe in the mid lane, although there's the Tidehunter. He's just come up with the Ravage. Mind you, he has a pipe and mech. He'll commit the Ravage. He connects onto 4, in fact 2 of them. Invincible, trying to fight. Chopo's getting so low, though. God is as well. Bears back. Finally, Shikamaru trying to back off. They do get the Rubik, and they've got no Raxes. Shikamaru, he should end up dropping here. And, well, the rest of his team do back off safely. But no actual Raxes were taken throughout that team fight. They did force out a buyback from the PL at least. But I don't know if that's really good enough. Chopo, he gets dusted up, but he will be able to back off, it looks like. In fact, he pops the BKB. I'm not sure about that one. There was no real necessity for that quite yet. But he will do so. And it is rather a shame that the Radiant could not find the racks in the mid lane, but it was a nice defense, and it was a nice Ravage, really, from the Tidehunter to delay that as far as possible.
Yeah, it definitely was a good effort from the Dire to hold off the high ground siege. I think I'm finding a bit of an issue the way Chapo is playing the Slark. For me, it feels like every time he pops a Shadow Dance, he's just a bit too safe, or he makes some really odd decisions when he pops a Shadow Dance. Like in that situation, he was pretty much maybe half HP, pops the Shadow Dance, and runs away from a team fight where PL doesn't have too many illusions. The Ravage was just popped. He could have easily taken maybe a couple kills there and maybe turned that fight on its head, but at the same time, I don't really blame him. Road to Divine did immediately just blink TP out of there. Wanted none of that, so it would have also been a bit bad for him to overextend there. Still, a little bit more aggressive coordination, I feel, would work out well for the Radiant.
No, I'd have to agree with you. There are some questionable plays going on. In fact, Bear, he almost goes down to Chopo. In fact, he will. Shikamaru finds that one with the Rocket Flare. Thanos trying to back out with that Glimmer Cape, but he's still being chased down. Chopo just loves going for Thanos. He will let it go for the time being. God, he's going to find Chopo. He's running too far. He commits the BKB and the Shadow Dance. I don't know if he gets out of this one, though. Thanos continues to chase as well as the rest of the team, and that BKB is about to wear off. And now it has. The Diffusal is there. He's got no mana left. He needs some help, but he's not going to get it. He will end up dropping. Mind you, they are taking the Roshan while all this has been going on. So maybe you could call this worth Chopo losing his life. He does have a buyback available, but I don't know about this. In fact, the Roshan might get stolen. Thanos is there. Not really in time, though. And he might get taken down for this. Shikamaru, Battery Assault, Invincible, commits the Ravage to save the CM. And the Ravage, I think it was stolen. In fact, it was. Minoru's got it. The Requiem was committed. They get the CM. Now Minoru, he cops the Ravage as well. 2 stunned up. It does absolutely nothing, though. Bateman, I think he lassoed an illusion, John. He will end up dropping. Now Shikamaru, he'll be the target. It looks like he will end up dropping as well. And they got the Roshan, but only the SF was smart enough to walk out of that one alive. And this could be a secondary Rax coming out from the Dire unless they commit these buybacks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very hard for the SF to hold this off by himself. Buyback does come out from the Slark, so he should have some assistance here.
Well, they're going to try. Choppo goes straight after Loki. He doesn't want that poison overused, but it has been. Mind you, the BKB was up. Choppo continues the chase. Invincible in a bit of trouble right now. He has no Ravage available. God is also very low. Nice hook shot from Shikamaru. It should be able to take him down, and they do. Now they want to continue this chase. Choppo looking for Invincible. They will find him with that rocket. They don't see him. Is he in the trees? He is in the trees. They can't actually get him out of there. This is very strange. I believe that rocket went right over his head. Now Minoru finds him with that observer ward on top of the hill. I can't believe they didn't see him there before. But Invincible, he will end up losing his life. Bateman, in fact, does call out the nice blink, and it was one. Very sneaky indeed. It's just a shame he didn't commit the TP immediately. And now they'll run down the mid lane again. God has no buyback available on the PL. There is one on the Tidehunter, but even that Ravage is 40 seconds away, so the side of the Radiant do have time to get this damn mid-Rax, finally. Dire, they have to be so careful right now. Choppo, he's looking for somebody. Oh, they're going to find him, though. The Yules is there. Bear, can he burst him down? No, he can't. The BKB was committed. Now the Poison over as well. The Requiem committed. The Loki's gone. Bear's going to come back in. Laguna Blade Road is almost down, but not quite yet. Can they find the kill? They get the Aegis at least. Invincible comes in, though. No Ravage available quite yet, though. Choppo is going to back out. Can they finally get this melee Rax? I don't know if they can. The Ravage is now ready to go. In fact, it's 2 seconds away. They'll get the Yules up on him. Choppo will take down Thanos. Now the BKB committed. Invincible. He can't commit the Ravage yet. The buyback is there from Thanos. Road to Divine. Still going for this, but he's got no Aegis left. He doesn't even have a cheese. In fact, no, he does. It's in the backpack. He finally brings it out. Now the Ravage stolen. Minoru again with the beautiful steal. They're going to go after more from the Dire, but everyone's getting stunned up. It looks like Bear will be able to find one kill. Invincible still in the middle of all this. He'll go down. Shikamaru with the hook shot. He'll find that one. Now God is coming in again. The buyback's coming out from the Dire. Choppo, he's getting low. God's also getting low, though. Now the Requiem again comes out, and God goes down. They'll find the SF. In fact, no, they won't. Road, he's finding more. There's only 2 available for the side of the Dire, and Benno has to go heal. They're going for the tier 4s here, John. It should be GG well played, but look at this. Bear's actually holding them out. Bateman's coming back in. He wants to find the lasso. Nice Yules comes out from Bear. Now the stun. Can he burst him down? Yes, he can. Shikamaru. He's going up to the fountain as well. What the hell are they doing on the side of the Radiant? Shikamaru still trying to fight, but I don't know why he's done this. John, 4 go down for the side of the dive for no reason.
It's the classic, you know, it's the classic pub play when, oh crap, oh, it's like, oh, we're winning. Let's dive the tier 4s and find some more kills, and then we can start doing more stuff. They kind of overstay their welcome. They forget that the Venomancer still does a decent amount of DOT damage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you actually check out Loki's Cross, he's pretty damn farmed for a Veno who's been dying a lot. 513. He's got the Ags up, the Kaya up, the Aether Lens. It's a lot of damage if you're not careful, and they have not really been careful around.
No, they really haven't. I mean, Poison Over lasts 25 seconds, John. 25 seconds that Poison Over lasts, and it's doing 110 damage per second. You can't really sustain against that if you've been hit by it. You've got to back the hell out. Choppo's going to come in and defend this bot lane, but they've already caught him with that Sentry Ward. Now the BKB again committed very early. Loki trying to back off. GG's being called by Bateman right now. And WeeBear trying to take this Rax before he leaves. He'll get the range at least. And now can they get Chopo? No, they'll go after the Milirex instead. Loki is there. Now God comes in as well. There's no buybacks available on 3 of the Radiant heroes. And SF apparently does not want to buy back for this. This is very questionable coming out from Divine. The Mega Creeps are about to come out if they don't defend. Laguna Blade, look at the damage he cops. He's about to go down to the Illusions. He has to Shadow Blade out of there. Now the Lasso is onto the Lina. Can they deal the damage though? God doesn't want to allow this to happen, but the Lina should end up dropping due to their Hex. And now the side of the Dire will back off. Invincible is blinking his way out of there. Such a confusing game. So many back and forths. Very entertaining at the least though, John. Who the hell's in the lead, by the way? It's 55 to 55.
It's funny because it swung around a bit now. I'd say Radiant are looking better. They're definitely ahead in farm on their 2 cores. I think they're having a decent time of it. My one issue right now is that they could be doing a bit better. The itemization on Shikamaru is a bit strange, to say the least. Does have the Blade Mineral Urn, which is fine, standard stuff for Clockwork. Goes for the Shiva's Guard, which is also standard. The issue is the absolute, the absence of a Force Staff. I think it's a very big thing for the Clockwork. He wants that Force Staff up so he can initiate in a much safer way. Every time he's been initiating, it's been good. So far with the hook shots on 2, with the hook shot cogs onto 2. The issue is he tends to die in the follow-up, mainly because he's also stuck in there. I feel like if he had that Force Staff, he could do a lot more work in this game.
I mean, John, not only that, but he hasn't gone for the Spirit Vessel either. Actually, top lane, it looks like they will be able to find Loki. So Poison Nova was committed. It might ward them off a bit, but if I may comment, I mean, the Spirit Vessel isn't even up on the Clockwork. I mean, that's such a powerful item to have.
Yeah, it's really strange that he didn't opt for the Spirit Vessel. I mean, he basically just rushed to Shivas after 2 items, which I'm not sure if it's worthwhile. I'm not.
Oh, looks like, John, your internet's playing up. I'll take over from here. Let me know when you're back, good sir. Road to Divine and Choppo running through the top lane. Double damage available on Choppo. John, I believe you're back. No, not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you are. Top lane, BKB committed. Choppo, he copped so much damage from the Laguna. Now Shikamaru with the hookshot and the lasso coming in onto God, but there's no follow-up. The Requiem, it finally comes out. Now the Ravage comes out. Oh, it's been stolen though. No, in fact, it hasn't. He stole something else from the Lina. It was the Dragon Slave. The Ravage, no, he did steal it. The replay was playing up. My apologies. He will get a nice Ravage. Invincible, trying to fight this out, but Thanos going to lose his life in the back lines. Now Bear going back in as well as God. Road to Divine, trying to find more kills. He does get the Veno as well. Now, Invincible in massive trouble. He goes down. God is getting so low. Shiva's Guard finally comes in from the clock. He's still alive, but he's pretty darn low on HP. He might have to back off out of there. The Rax has been taken to the top. They've already taken it in the mid. They're going to the bot lane to try and get these damn Mega Creeps going. And I've got to say, Minoru, he's been making some fantastic steals. Oh, the Laguna Blades Bear. He'll find the kill onto the SF. Now the hookshot comes in from Shikamaru. He's under the tier 4 towers, though. God is going for the Rubik. Minoru, he'll go down. Shikamaru making the chase. Bear is there as well. They'll find the kill onto Shikamaru. And they'll save themselves from the Mega Creeps. And both teams essentially even on the map. 2 Raxes down and only 1 available for both.
Yeah, it's starting to look iffy for Dark side, but they're not out of the game yet. As you mentioned, they're pretty much even in terms of objectives. In fact, the Dire might be slightly ahead, as the last outer tower was the last T3 was already taken out by the Dire, so they have a slight advantage going up for that high ground push on the last set of racks if they feel like it. I think right now, it comes down to itemization on the cores, or rather the lack of it. God has not gotten the heart until now.
Yeah.
He's been really holding on to that buyback money, With a heart, maybe he can tank through a bit more. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how to feel about that. But it looks like they might be able to do something now, as he's definitely tankier than Slark. Slark opted for the Butterfly and the Basher, so he's really not going to have too much HP. If you can manage to, focus fire him, he's pretty much dead.
Yeah. It's questionable. I mean, there's so much magic damage available on the Dire as well. It's kind of like, what's the point of the Butterfly if they're not even going to bother right-clicking you? But, nevertheless, John, he does have it. They will go through the mid lane, it looks like. There's going to be a team fight here. Loki, he might get caught out. He'll blink out immediately, though, but Choppo is going to find him, and they'll take him out. They commit everything for this, though. There was no need for that lasso. Laguna comes out onto the Batrider, almost takes him out. Bear, got to be careful. Road is chasing. I've got to say that Scythe of Vice is coming in handy for the SF. It really makes that magic build a lot better, it feels. Excuse me, when we do have the Hex available. Bear might get caught out though. Choppo is there and he will find him. The Yules is committed though. Shikamaru cogs, the Ravage as well coming in. Did Minoru steal it again? Yes, he did. Where the hell? The Anchor Smash is coming in. They're not invincible. He will end up going down, it looks like, and he's gone. The GG is being called, and damn these hiccups, John. They're quite annoying, but we'll continue. They're going down the mid lane. Ravage is up on Minoru right now. Some trash talk going on from the Rubik. Bear, gonna try and defend. Actually, nice Laguna comes out, and now the lasso as well. Ravage comes in from the Rubik. It's too much coming out. The Rubik, he's done so much for this team. The Requiem comes out from the SF, and it looks like God is going down. And this could actually be GG. There is a buyback available on the PL. They are going to keep going. God, they can't find Shikamaru quite yet. It looks like they will get the Frostbite. God is going after him, and it looks like Choppo wants to go into the backlines again. Thanos is gone. Now Shikamaru getting very low, but he's still okay through all this. Minoru's actually stolen the CM ultimate, and God's so close to going down, but they couldn't find him quite yet. The Raxes are dropping though. And Choppo, he'll focus on that. The Mega Creeps are now available. Mind you, they can be defended if the Radiant are going to back off. Laguna, he'll take down Minoru. He's had enough of this Rubik. Now God goes in after Shikamaru. The stun does connect. The blade is up. Oh, Road to Divine. He might be in trouble. God's making the chase. The Requiem, though, is going to connect. It's not that much damage. But now the Hex onto God. He's full HP again. Chopper comes in from the back lines. And looks like God might actually end up dropping. The Razors do not hit. But God, he will end up going down, and that has to be GG or played. There's no buybacks available. And John, what a game we've watched today.
Yeah, it was definitely one heck of a back and forth, Mike. That last fight where Road to Divine just finally mans up, and he knows how far he can go.
Oh my.
And with that Requiem and the Octarine, the moment, the Requiem came back, he just had so much HP. And so much HP brought back to him, and it's just kind of nice when you see that happen, playing on the edge, and that's probably the edgiest I've seen Road to Divine play this game, so good on him, and that should close out the game.
Oh, it definitely has. Chopper will finish it off. He's had enough of this game. It went on for 56 minutes and 32 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, but it's over. And, well, the Radiant are going to be happy with themselves. John, before we go on to the next replay, I've got to point out, those steals from Minoru, they were bloody fantastic. I mean, how many times did he still Ravage?
At least 2 times. I want to say 3 times.
Oh, it was at least 3 times. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. I'm rather curious what happened to Invincible not using Anchor Smash. It's the most basic thing to do as a Tide. When there's a Rubik on the other side, it's really not the hardest thing either for the Tide, unless the Rubik's just that far out and blinks in after the Ravage to steal it. But it's still something else.
I think the Tidehunter thought he was invincible, John.
Yeah, well, it says so in his name, Mike. He is invincible. So
thank you, John, for that analysis of my pun. We'll be right back, John. I've got hiccups, so I'm going to go away for 5 or 10 minutes to get rid of that. Excuse me. Apologies for the hiccups. I know they're annoying. during the replay, but hopefully it didn't bother you guys too much at the end. John, we'll be right back in 5 to 10 minutes to get to the next replay. Let me just get rid of these damn hiccups, and the stream will be live again in 5 to 10 minutes or so. My God, we'll be right back.